أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود فطر الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالسخور ميدان أرضه والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين سيدنا الممجد بشيرنا المصدق نذيرنا المؤيد المصطفى الأمجد محمود الأحمد الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين قال عنهم الرسول اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا واللعنة الدائمة الباقي على أعدائهم ومبغضيهم وغاصبي حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم ومناقبهم من أول يوم ظلمهم إلى لقاء يوم الدين أما بعد سلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Yesterday we discussed about the idea and the notion of commemorating or celebrating occasions of the personalities that we give reverence to is to learn from their lives, is to be able to get lessons from their lives and be able to apply them into our lives, considering them to be the illuminating guides for you and I. It is therefore of importance that we use these occasions to make them most productive for our own development. Yesterday we mentioned that there is absolutely no distinction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes when it comes to a male or a female. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the notion of inferiority or superiority conflict, or superiority or inferiority concept is not something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has introduced or spoken about in Quran Majid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given equal status to women and an equal status to men. We mentioned yesterday very briefly, and I will very briefly speak about it, for I wish to speak about something else this evening and then inshallah move on from that subject. Yesterday we briefly mentioned that many of these superstitious beliefs, many of these traditions, many of these cultural understandings of the people of that time managed to creep in various religions and religious texts, causing many problems within the followers of those religions. So, for example, the idea of inferiority complex has caused people to see the world differently, and therefore a belief through indoctrination of them to be people who are suppressed or oppressed. The idea that the media get out of the Muslim world is not just coming out of nowhere. There are things that are there within the texts that suggest to them by way of interpretation, where they make interpretations to say this is what the belief of Islam is. It is not just coming out of thin air that the journalists may type something. We may sit here on the pulpit and try to correct it, but it is not coming out of thin air, because a lot of these things have been able to penetrate or manage to penetrate religious texts. We mentioned last time, I remember when I came for the wiladat of Hazrat Fatimah Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha, we mentioned, and I was reminded again yesterday, that even if we were to look within our books, within our own books, for example, we will realize that if somebody wants to have, a couple wants to have a child and is desiring or wishing to have a female child, they will struggle to find a supplication and a dua in the books of ad'iyah where they can supplicate for a female child. But if a couple is wanting a male child, then you will see that there is not one but many du'as there in which men can do a particular, or a couple can do a particular a'mal to have a male child. You will see many of these. You begin to wonder why. What was it that was influencing the minds of the people? Why is there no supplication? What was it? Was it not the desire of the parents to have a female child? Perhaps not, because of what was happening and the hostility against those little babies that caused this to creep in. Although the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, calls the daughters the rahmah. It is the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see that there is these du'as that are missing in there. I remember as I was growing up, in my days, majlises were in Urdu language. They were not in English. So I used to listen to majlises. We all knew Urdu language. We used to listen to it. Towards the end of the du'as, the ulama and the dhakirin who used to sit on the pulpit used to recite this dua: Palne wale jo be aulad hain, unko aulade narina ata farma. This is what they used to recite. Now I will translate this. They used to say, "O Allah, those who do not have children, grant them a male child." And the public used to say, Ilahi Amin. Because the public, somebody yesterday told me that we used to think it is a good child that they were asking for. We didn't realize Aulad Narina means a male issue, male child. No, they used to think it is a good child. But this is what has crept in as a consequence. And I'm going to be a little open in what I say without being critical about anything, but necessary for me to say from the life of Hazrat Zahra, which I will come to here, that when it comes to the time of speaking, when it comes to the time of standing for justice and truth, we learn from the daughter of the Holy Prophet of Islam, no matter what or any odds against you, you must rise for the truth and you must rise for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We learn this from Hazrat Zahra salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha. So you see that these things have crept in, and therefore bringing this whole notion of inferiority and superiority complexes that people have, that being a male, I have a right. And therefore you see that a male today, if he decides that he wants to divorce a woman, a wife, not a woman, sorry, you can only divorce your wife. If a man today decides to divorce his wife, there is no struggle whatsoever. All he needs to do is make a decision, period. In another religion or in another madhahib, for example, you only have to utter talaq 3 times and it is all over, finished. There is absolutely no right whatsoever. But when a woman is seeking a divorce, salam, for genuine reasons, if she is seeking a divorce for genuine reasons, there is this protection, there is this superiority right that a man has to say that I cannot do so, only to trouble someone, only to take someone through a task, only to get back at someone. And there is absolutely no protection whatsoever. You begin to realize, where does this all come from? This is what Hazrat Fatimah Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha went to show. It was not Fadak, the garden. It was not the land. It was the principle of standing for the truth that Zahra was standing for. It was not Fadak, was not a piece of land, whatever it may have been. It was a gift by the Holy Prophet of Islam to his daughter. However, it was not Fadak that Zahra was fighting for. It was not that piece of land that she was fighting for. It was the principle that she was fighting for, that when it comes to the truth, you need to stand up for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to speak the truth. You need to make sure that you are doing what you are supposed to do. We learn this from the life of Hazrat Fatimah Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. Although the date of her birth should not be an issue of discussion whatsoever, however, it has been made an issue of discussion. Within the Muslim Ummah, there are those who believe that she was born 5 years before Bi'tha, or 5 years before the revelation, and another group of scholars believes that she was born 5 years after Bi'tha or revelation. In either case, the age of Janabi Fatimah Zahra, if she died 75 days or 90 days after the demise of the Holy Prophet of Islam, she was 18 if she was born 5 years after Bi'tha, or she was 28 if she was born 5 years before Bi'tha. Either one of the two. Irrespective, I am not going to discuss about which one is right and which one is wrong. It is part of history that you will read, and you can make your analysis yourself. However, at the age of 18, and I'm using this 18 for our discussion, at the age of 18, Janabi Fatimah Zahra salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayha has delivered a sermon. She has delivered a khutbah at the age of 18. Or even if you say at the age of 28, it doesn't make a difference. I'm using it for our purpose, the age of 18. At the age of 18, she delivers a sermon known as Khutbah al-Fadakiyah. It is the khutbah in which she is seeking she is asking for her rights for the piece of land or fadak to be returned to her. For those who have studied the khutbah, for those who have at least tried to study the khutbah, because studying of this khutbah, reading of this khutbah, understanding of this khutbah in itself requires an individual who has some sort of an understanding of some religious sciences to be able to understand this khutbah and how she has delivered this khutbah. At the age of 18, she delivers this khutbah. When you will go through this khutbah, you will realize that this 18-year-old daughter of the Holy Prophet of Islam was extremely and very well politically aware of what was happening around her. She was not just speaking or came to deliver a khutbah. She was very politically aware of what was happening. She had profound understanding of historical events that had taken place. It is there within the khutbah for you and I to see and read and analyze that she had huge amounts of understanding when it came to history and how well versed she was. You will observe in this particular khutbah that she was well versed with Quran, and you don't need to say this because Quran was revealed in the house of Fatimah Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. You will also notice that the choice of words that she has selected to deliver this khutbah is also thought-provoking. It is something that you will wonder as to how this 18-year-old daughter of the Holy Prophet of Islam was able to deliver a khutbah in such a language, in so much eloquence, that the people of the time not only then were mesmerized, but today when you read this khutbah, you will realize that there is far more depth in this khutbah than you and I can ever comprehend, because she does not speak just like that. She has ilmul ladunni, the ilm and the knowledge that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this khutbah, Janab Zahra speaks about the praises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning, and I have selected one part of this khutbah and then I want to carry on with it, inshallah. In this khutbah, Janab Zahra delivers this khutbah and comes to a point where she is looking and facing the grand companions of the Holy Prophet of Islam, those who were sitting there, those who were listening to the khutbah after having delivered the praises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now she is looking at these companions and she is telling them of their responsibility, of what is it that they are supposed to do. She says, Antum ibadullahi nusubu amrihi wa nahi. She says to the companions, you are the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nusubu amrihi wa nahi. You are those who are as people who establish the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are those people who are supposed to keep people away from the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are those people who are supposed to establish the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَحَمَّلَةُ دِينِهِ وَوَحْيِهِ. And you are possessors of the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are possessors of the revelations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This 18-year-old daughter is speaking to the companions who are more than her grandfathers, who are people of esteem, profound knowledge, people who are sitting there respected by the people. She is giving them their responsibility and telling them that you are those who are possessors of his religion, and you are those who are the protectors of the wahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then she carries on and says, وَأُمَنَاءُ اللَّهِ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ. And you are the trustworthy ones with regard to yourselves. وَبُلَغَاؤُهُ إِلَى الْأُمَمِ. And that you are those who are responsible to reach out and take the Islam and the teachings of the Holy Prophet of Islam to the people. It is your responsibility. Today the daughter of Zahra is standing, the daughter of Ali, the daughter of the Holy Prophet of Islam, Zahra, is standing before you asking for her haqq. You are those who have learnt Quran through the Prophet. You are those who sat with him. You are those who spoke to him. You are those who saw him. You are those who understood his character. You are those who prayed behind him. I am reminding you of your responsibility at this age of 18, when I tell you that you are the bulagha, you are the ones who are supposed to reach to the people the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given. This is what Zahra is telling them. Yet you find that Fadak was taken away from Zahra, and those people who were well grounded or supposedly well grounded in religion were unable to speak a word. Because of what? Because either of the fear or because of that state in which they were completely immersed in a thinking that was a thinking of someone else. You know, this is our biggest problem today, and that is what keeps us behind. You know, a poet in Urdu says, "Le deke apne paas, faqat ek nazar to hai." And this is a serious poem. Please don't misunderstand me. The poet says, "Le deke apne paas, फकत एक नजर तो है. We only have one life, one vision right in front of us. There is no other one. This life that Allah has given to you and I is just one life. That's it. There is nothing else. There is no coming back and then experiencing life again. This is all we have. He says, ले देखे अपने पास फकत एक नजर तो है, क्यों देखें जिंदगी को किसी की नजर से हम. Why do we look at life with somebody else's view and spectacle? This is the life that we have. This is the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you and I. It is this that makes us, or it is this that breaks us. It is me who is going to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. It is I who is going to be responsible to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ले दे कि अपने पास फकत एक नजर तो है, क्यों देखें जिंदगी को किसी की नजर से हम. Why should we look at this life through somebody else's spectacle? It is intellect that Allah has given me. It is eyes that He has given me. It is the ears that He has given me. It is my responsibility to process it through reason that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me to be able to apply it into my life. And this is what Zahra is screaming about in front of those people. You are standing here. No, you remember when Abu Abdullah al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, in the middle of the battle in Karbala, on the day of Ashura, Abu Abdullah speaks, and he speaks at a time that makes you wonder what a message at what time Imam alayhi salam is delivering. He says to the people, Ya Shi'ata ala Abi Sufyan, or the Shia, or the followers of the Al of Abu Sufyan, in lam yakun lakum dinun, if you do not have a religion, wa kuntum la takhafun al-ma'ad, and you have no fear of the day of judgment, fine. He is speaking to the Muslims, by the way. The son of the daughter of the Holy Prophet of Islam is not speaking to non-Muslims. He is speaking to Muslims who are saying La ilaha illallah. He is speaking to Muslims who are saying Muhammadur Rasulullah. He is speaking to Muslims who are praying. He says to them, In lam yakun lakum dinun, if you do not have a religion, wa kuntum la takhafun al-ma'ad, and you have no fear of the day of judgment, fakunu ahraran fi dunyakum, then what you can do at least is to be free in this world of yours. You have been told this is what I have done. You have been told this is wrong. You have been told that I am a baghi. But at least think for yourselves. Do not look at me through the spectacles of those who have told you I am a baghi. He stands and he tells people, this is the responsibility that you have. It makes no difference. It is better to die than to live a life under the life of those people who want to control what you think, who want to control how you think, who want to control what and how you express yourself. Zahra wants you and I to stand for the truth. She is talking to the companions of the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And telling them, you have a responsibility. You are the umana of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are the umana on your own selves. You are the bulagha, means you are supposed to reach out. I stand in front of this tyrannical people in front of you. I am asking for my right and haq, and there is nobody who's saying anything. Nobody. She shook them. She reminded us, the khutbah has been preserved for you and I to read today, tomorrow, future. People will read it and read it and read it and understand. But reading the khutbah and going through the understanding of the khutbah, just like we recite Quran in itself. In fact, she speaks about Quran. After this bit, she talks about Quran and the importance of Quran and reminds the companions about the Quran. She talks about it. But you realize that it is either because those people who were there were seeing the world with a different spectacle, they understood it, or they were seeing things accordingly, just like the people of Sham. When the people of Sham heard that Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi was martyred in Masjid Kufa, they asked themselves, you have heard this so many times, they asked themselves, what was Ali doing inside the mosque? Because of the continuous propaganda against Ali ibn Abi Talib, they did not even know he was a Muslim or a worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because they were looking at Ali through somebody else's view, somebody else's spectacle. The biggest hurdle is for us as Muslims is to break the idols that have been erected by ourselves in our heads and minds. It is a huge challenge upon the Muslim Ummah. Lat and Manat and Uzza, the names of these idols that were there in Kaaba, were not only the names of these idols. No, they were ideologies, prevalent ideologies that existed. When Ibrahim crushed the idols, it was not the idols that he was crushing. No, it was the ideology. It was the thought process of the people. It was to bring to realization the true meaning, to bring that state of awakening within them. When Ali ibn Abi Talib was on the shoulders of the Holy Prophet of Islam, breaking the idols, it was not the Lat and Manat and Uzza that were being broken. It was the ideas of the people who were seeing the world through their own spectacles. Therefore, we need to see, Allama Iqbal has his own understanding, and he's someone who has tried to bring the state of awakening within the people. There is a work of his known as Zarb Kalim. In there he speaks about this concept of La ilaha illallah. There is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says in one stanza of his, he says, Ye daur apne barahim ki talash mein hai. This time, this era is in search of its own Ibrahim. He says the state of the ummah is such. He says, Ye daur apne barahim ki talash mein hai. This Zarbe Kalim ends with La ilaha illallah. Everything ends with La ilaha illallah. And that is what he has used. There is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says, Ye daur apne barahim ki talash mein hai. This era is in search of its own Ibrahim. Sanam kada hai jahan La ilaha illallah. He says the whole world is idol worshipping. There is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, Ye malo daulat dunya, ye rishta o paivand, this wealth, this relationships, this dunya is nothing butane vehmo guma, la ilaha illallah. These are idols of our wahm, our thoughts. It is nothing butane vehmo guma, la ilaha illallah. Then he boldly says, agarche but hai jamaat ki astino mein. Although I know that the people of the whole Muslim ummah is carrying idols, hiding idols within their codes, within their system. He says, agarche but hai jamaat ki astino mein, mujhe hai hukm azan la ilaha illallah. It is my responsibility to give the adhan and say there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the issue. This is the problem, that we think, and even our thought processes are thought processes which we do not allow ourselves to move out, to think, to talk about issues, to discuss them, so that we are able to understand what Fatimatu Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha wants to teach us, what she has left for us, how important it is for us to be able to understand what she has left for us. We will go through this khutbah inshallah ta'ala as we go on in parts of this khutbah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you and I free. He brought this this human being on this planet and congratulated himself because he created us free. He gave us the intellect and the reason to think. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Just a little while ago, there was not even a mention of this man. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاهُ مِن نُطْفَةٍ أَمْشَاجٍ نَبْتَلِيهِ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. We created him from a sperm, and we have made him seeing and hearing. And then Allah says, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ Imma shakiran, he talks about the free will that he has given to man. Imma shakiran wa imma kafura. Whether he is grateful or ungrateful, it is entirely up to him. Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayh, brought this ummah after the Holy Prophet of Islam to a state where they can engage with Ali ibn Abi Talib, ask him questions. I may not use words that may make me or you may misunderstand me, but Amirul Mu'mineen sat with people, asked them questions, allowed people to challenge him. He allowed people and companions to challenge him, and then he responded to them accordingly. Before they finished what they were asking, he responded to them. They asked him, Ya Ali, you know so much. He responded by saying, just like you know your questions, Ali knows the answers as good as your questions. This is Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was allowing people to engage with him, who was allowing people to talk to him. He says, Saluni, ask me قبل أن تفقدوني, before you lose me. فإني أعلم بطرق السماء من طرق الأرض, or سلوني عن طرق السماء فإني أعلم بها من طرق الأرض. Ask me about the heavens, for I know it better than the ways of the earth. This is Ali ibn Abi Talib, who is allowing you and I, the sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. He was the giant of his time as far as ilm and knowledge was concerned. He allowed 4,000 students were studying with Imam alayhi salam. You know, there was a poem that was written on the behind the mimbar where Imam used to sit and deliver. He says, the poem says, لَيْسَ الْيَتِيمَ الَّذِي قَدْ مَاتَ وَالِدَهُ. You know, yatim means somebody whose father has died. He is known as yatim. But this poem read, لَيْسَ الْيَتِيمَ الَّذِي قَدْ مَاتَ وَالِدَهُ. Do not consider him an orphan whose father has died. إِنَّ الْيَتِيمَ, the true yatim is يَتِيمَ الْعِلْمِ وَالْأَدَبِ. One who lacks knowledge and one who lacks adab is the one who is a true yatim. So Imam alayhi salam used to sit there with the people who used to ask him questions. He used to talk to them. Questions of kalam, complicated issues were being discussed. Imam used to engage with them, passionately debate with the people who were coming there. This touched subject on kalam, on theology itself with the Imam. Subjects which were not ordinary subjects, subjects which spoke about whether God could be seen in Akhirah or he could not be seen, were being discussed by Imam alayhi salam. The nature and the limits of God's knowledge was being discussed in kalam with Imam alayhi salam. Go and refer to the books and you will realize that this is what was happening. Hellfire and paradise, was it everlasting or was it not everlasting, was being discussed, and many other issues on astronomy and various other issues were being discussed by Imam. Rather than Imam just telling them keep quiet and listen to what I have to say, he used to engage with them and discuss issues with them. It was his responsibility to reach out to the people, to tell them, to correct them, to guide them. This is what our A'immah salamullahi alayhim ajma'in did. What happened to the Muslim Ummah? Here is Zahra. In 75 days is the riwayat of her death, or 90 days is the riwayat of her martyrdom. Between 28 Safar and 75 days thereafter, this lady says, صبت علي مصائب لو أنها صبت على الأيام سرنا لياليا. What happened in 75 days for Zahra to utter these words? What happened? What a calamity befell upon her. صبت علي مصائب لو أنها. Just 75 days after the demise of the Holy Prophet of Islam. What happened? These people kept quiet, and so, yesterday I said to you, I mentioned to you yesterday, इस कौम के रोने को यही बात बड़ी है. Just this is enough for the ummah and the community to cry. Zahra bhare darbar mein haq maang rahi hai. She stands there to ask for her haq, and nobody says anything. The primary cause of the malaise, the problems, the disease that we are in today is our own lack of and ability to allow ourselves to reflect and think. We just follow. And that is a habit that we have. We just follow blindly, and that is all we do. Muslim Ummah, I am not talking about you and I am talking about the entire Muslim Ummah. The disease of this Muslim Ummah is that they have reached a point where there is absolutely no room to think or to reason for themselves. The scholars have systematically suppressed free thinking. When I say scholars, I am talking about so-called scholars. They have systematically suppressed free thinking. They do not want people to think. They do not want people to have the ability of scientific inquiry. That has resulted in the lay ummah of the Holy Prophet of Islam unable to achieve excellence in any field whatsoever, because they are not allowed, or they have been told not to think, and the idea of thinking is only given to some elite group of people. What happened to this Muslim Ummah? Why is it that this Muslim Ummah there has been a sharp decline in the progress of this Muslim Ummah? You will see today, while you and I speak, we have been gradually dispossessed of the real spirit of Islam. It is not there. For you and I to be able to exceed and reach that point of excellence for which the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, was sent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Holy Prophet of Islam to liberate the people. He did not send the people to be suppressed in their thinking or not allow them their own completion and their own growth. No, he was sent so that people could realize their own potential through this free thinking that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them. When I use these words of free thinking, I am not, please do not misunderstand me. I am not taking you or asking me and you to think completely without any guidance. No, that's not what I am talking about. I am saying the biggest disease is the idols that we have created around ourselves. The biggest problem is we have not allowed ourselves to think and to reflect on various aspects of our own existence. So now we see that a complete disregard for human intellect in matters of religion also is something which needs to be thought about or spoken about. It is not for you and I to make a conclusion of something, but there is nothing preventing us from seeing things the way we see it. We may not be able to conclude it without guidance. We will eventually conclude it with the guidance. However, we must be able to see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, who I am worshipping, why I am worshipping, what is it that I am doing. It is this that you and I have been told to do by the Holy Prophet of Islam and the Quran Majid, that we must understand and read and reflect upon. Today, this idea of us to you will see members of the public, of the lay group, you will see they take everything for granted, because that's how their minds think. You tell them this is what Allah said, they will believe in you, even if it is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, even if it is not in Quran. You just use, you remember in Africa, in Tanzania, when I was growing up, everything that was written in Arabic language was considered to be Quran. Everything and anything that was written in Arabic, we used to pick it up, put it on our eyes and kiss it, even if it was a swear word written in it. We didn't know what it was. It was just Arabic language. We saw it, we knew it was Arabic. Quran looked like it. We kissed it and kept it away. This is how we thought. We never thought that Arabic could be just a language and it is not necessarily a Quran. So here it is that we have come to a point today that everything someone says is true, is finished, it is true. I do not ask you a question, you don't ask me a question. What I have said is true, it's finished. And we listen to it and we move on with what is being said. A man goes to the mosque, sits in the mosque, prays his salat, and the scholar tells him, go and blow yourself up and you will get 70 hur. He believes it. That is what he does. He believes this is what is going, because he has given a superhuman veneration to a scholar. That is what he has said. You will do this. This is not what the Holy Prophet of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran, regarding the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, says, الذين يتبعون الرسول النبي الأمي. He says those who follow the messenger, the Ummi. Those الذين يتبعون الرسول النبي الأمي الذي يجدونه مكتوبا عندهم في التوراة والإنجيل. The mention of whom has been written in Torah and in Injil. يَأْمُرُهُمْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Allah says, this Muhammad, this Ummi, this Prophet, his function is to do amr bil ma'roof, to enjoin people to good, to forbid people from evil. وَيَنْهَاهُمْ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and to forbid people from evil. وَيَحِلُّ لَهُمُ الطَّيِّبَاتِ, and to make permissible for them that which is good for them. وَيُحَرِّمُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْخَبَائِثِ, and to prohibit for them that which is evil or bad for them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the primary function of this Holy Prophet of Islam is وَيَضَعُ أَنْهُمْ إِسْرَهُمْ وَالْأَغْلَالِ, and to الَّتِي كَانَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ, and to unshackle them and to unburden them from those things that are holding them back, and to give them the experience of liberating themselves. This is what the Holy Prophet is. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّتِي كَانَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِهِ, those who believe in the Prophet. وَعَزَّرُوهُ, and those who believe in the Holy Prophet of Islam and honor him. وَنَصَرُوهُ, and those who help him. وَاتَّبَعُوا النُّورَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ مَعَهُ, and those who follow the light that has been revealed upon the Holy Prophet of Islam with him. Those who follow all these things, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, it is these people who are successful in what they do. Here in this khutbah, Hazrat Fatimah Zahra salawatullahi wa salamu alayha wants us to tell the companions of the Holy Prophet of Islam who are sitting there, that when time comes, when a moment arises, you are the nusubu amrihi wa nahi. You are the people who are supposed to establish the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't just sit there, do nothing. Today, it is unfortunate, and my time is up, but inshallah maybe I will speak about this either tomorrow or some other time. However, Today we are in a very sorry state of affairs. The Muslim Ummah is in a state in which you find ourselves in. The youths decide not to come to the mosque. You ask them a question why they don't want to come. You listen to variety of answers. In my time when I was in Stanmore in the 80s, they used to say Urdu has to be scrapped and English needs to be brought in. We remember used to have a debate here with Marhum Dr. Sadiq Rahim, Sheikh Abbas Jafar, and many others who were here at that time. We had a debate here in Stanmore, and the theme of the debate was English is vital for propagation of Islam. Because people were not coming in. So they used to come, we used to tell them why don't you come in, and then English was introduced. Now Urdu is alien. Now there is no Urdu. Yesterday I was told, why don't you recite Masaib in Urdu? Because some of us don't understand the Masaib. Inshallah, I will recite Masaib in Urdu. Are we going back to Urdu now? What is it? Why are the youths not coming in? Why is it? You see, I will speak about this youth issue as well at some point, where we need to understand what is it that we are looking for. Is it something that is out of our reach? Is it something it is within our reach? What is the problem? We need to discuss these issues openly so that we are able to address these issues and see what our lives are like. When it comes to our A'immah salamullahi alayhim ajma'een, we realize that our Imams alayhimus salam have given us everything that is required for our development. It is us and how we use this. Today, let me speak about one aspect of the masa'ib of this lady. My time is up. Let me speak about one aspect of the masa'ib of this lady. It is mentioned that قال رسول الله, the Holy Prophet of Islam says لعلي, he says to Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says Salamullahi alayka ya Aba Rayhanain, peace be upon you, O the father of two flowers, Rayhanain. فعن قليل يذهب ركناك. He says to Imam Ali, the Holy Prophet, he mentioned the two Rayhanain, and he says very near, very soon, يذهب ركناك, these two pillars of yours will go away. Wallahu khalifati alayk, and Allah is my Khalifa over you. فلما قبض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم, when the Holy Prophet of Islam passed away, قال علي, Imam Ali says, هذا أحد الركنين, this is one of the pillars that has gone. فلما ماتت فاطمة, when Zahra left this world, قال هذا الركن الآخر, this is the other pillar that has disappeared. He then takes Zahra after her passing away. He brings her to bury her. He makes the children bid farewell to Zahra. And then comes a point where he finishes the ritual of burying Zahra, and then sitting there by the grave, the riwayat says أنه قال لما قبضت فاطمة, when Zahra passed away from this world, دفنها أمير المؤمنين سرا, Imam Ali alayhi salam buried her in secret. وعفى على موضع قبرها, and he hid the place of the burial of Zahra. ثم قام, and then the Holy Prophet stood up. فحول وجهه إلى قبر رسول الله, and he looked towards the grave of Rasulullah. And he said, فَقَالَ السَّلَامُ عَلَيْكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. He said, peace be upon you, O Rasulullah, anni, from me. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكَ عَنْ إِبْنَتِكَ, and peace be upon you from your daughter, زَائِرَتِكَ, who is visiting you right now. And then he said, وَالْمُخْتَارِ لِلَّهِ لَهَا سُرْعَةَ اللِّحَاقِ بِكَ, and she has hastened towards you, Ya Rasulullah. And then he says, قل يا رسول الله عن صفيتك صبري. Ya Rasulullah, Ali ibn Abi Talib is unable to be patient anymore. I cannot do sabr anymore. My sabr has diminished. Ya Rasulullah, you have left. Ya Rasulullah, Zahra has left. When Bibi Fatima used to weep and cry, she used to say, صبت علي مصائب لو أنها صبت على الأيام سرنا لياليا. बाबा, ज़हरा पर ऐसी मुसीबतें पड़ी हैं बाबा कि अगर ये मुसीबतें दिन पे पड़ती तो दिन रात में तब्दील हो जाते. ज़हरा को बाबा का फराक कबूल नहीं था. ज़हरा नहीं चाहती थी कि अपने बाबा से दूर हो. कभी कभी कब्र पे बैठ के कहा करती थी, लस्तु अब की लिमा युस्नाबे. बाबा, मैं इसलिए गिरिया नहीं करती कि मुझ पर मुसीबतें पड़ी, अब की li फिराक़िका या रसूल अल्लाह. बाबा, आपकी जुदाई ज़हरा से बर्दाश्त नहीं हो. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون.